This video is specifically being shot for those who are interested in learning more about our consultative services. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Consultative services, people who are consultants. We live in the gig economy right now in the world. Many people are making a living doing consulting work, doing some type of contract work, and it's becoming more and more of a trend. So we wanted to shoot a video today covering why use JobStream AI to make those services happen for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited about this because this is what I've been doing for the past like 10 years. I've been living in the gig economy and I've been making my money self-employed. So this type of service would have helped me so much back when I first started. So yeah, let's get started on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, Jess. Both of us have experience with the gig economy, and it takes one to know one, right? So we know there's a lot of you out there that probably have questions about how can I improve my consulting gig? And how does it work, right? The next question that we get is like, how does JobStream AI help improve a consulting business? Well, for one, the biggest issue with most consulting businesses is there's not enough marketing going into it, right? And you could also say that oftentimes the offer is not very attractive. Sometimes it's a little bit too financially heavy for some companies to be able to afford. Maybe the target market is wrong. There's a number of different reasons why a consulting business may not be living up to its potential. And so with JobStream AI, we sit down, we strategically brainstorm about who is your best target audience based on what you provide. What is your offer and how does it work? We also talk about what does it take to get better marketing. Marketing and getting leads is like usually, I would say 90% of the battle. And once you have like really good lead flow, as long as you have like a really good offer to present to someone, or you have like a service that people are in need of, you're in good shape as a consultant, right? So all you really need is like 2 or 3 contracts at most, oftentimes, and you could be making on average anywhere between $100,000 to $150,000 a year. And if you want to really get advanced and get crazy with it, you could definitely stack higher than that, get into like the 4 or 5 job territories. This is for our marketing executives and people that do this kind of stuff for a living already, who want to kind of take that to the next level. We would be your point people, so to speak, for that. So that's how that would work.
Yeah, exactly. And that actually brings us into the question of how does it work? But I think we covered that. So the next question is, do I need a website?
Having a website is good. I'm never going to poo-poo somebody having a website because we're living in a digital age. People need to know who you are. They want to see you, right? They want to get a picture of who you are and what your brand is. So I would say I advise it for a consultant. However, I do not say that it must be done. You have plenty of consulting people on LinkedIn alone that are making, somewhere in the 150 to 200K range a year and more, right? And they don't have a single, their LinkedIn's aren't even filled out. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of doing their thing, and people know about them through word of mouth or experience or whatever the case. Not exactly what we would advise, but nevertheless, it's definitely possible to be a successful consultant just having a LinkedIn website and, whatever other marketing collateral that you might have.
Exactly. Although if you do need help building a website, then that is something that we offer as well. That's something I personally do, and I'm very happy to help you. It's very budget friendly if you just want, a quick 3-page website, and I work with all different platforms. So if you are looking to revamp your website, it's part of the full JobStream package. So that, just to put that out there. And then the next question, is the process mostly the same as when I'm looking for a full-time job?
This is probably the most interesting and most fun question to answer, because the answer is yes. Most people today are having to do a whole song and dance just to get a job, right? And it takes months at a time. Consulting can be the same, right? Consulting can take just as much effort. It can be a lot easier, actually, in some cases, because you get to dictate the terms. You get to kind of say, if it works better for me to work as a fractional person in this case, you're already planning ahead of like, okay, I'm going to already have like this other fractional role that I've been working on, or maybe I'm going to go and get another one using our services, right? So we will help you to secure some contracts that you'll be very happy with. But yeah, the answer is absolutely yes. Like, it is just as difficult to find a job today as it is to find a contract in which you would be doing consulting work. So why not do it? Right? Why not take advantage of the fact that we're in the gig economy? Might as well get something that you can depend on, and then, get some additional contracts that you can add to that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It really is so similar, and it is really just as difficult to either get a client or get a full time job. So it just depends on the type of person you are, what kind of lifestyle you want to live, and the type of money you want to make. Because obviously, if you're a consultant, you have a little bit more control of how much money you make. Because you can take on as many contracts as you want versus like your boss has to give you a raise if you want more money in the full time job.
Yeah, you keep giving yourself raises, right? And that's the idea, is like you're not tethered to anybody. There's this understanding that you're like a free agent out there, and if you've had a lot of success, you're going to have a lot of companies that are going to come to you looking for your help to fix some stuff that's broken in their organization. The next question that we often get is, how many clients will I get, right? That's really dependent upon how well you're doing, right? If you're killing your contracts, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're scaling companies, you're going to have quite a portfolio to put on display, right? It also is going to depend on, are you leveraging our video services? Are you leveraging social media content, right? There's a number of different things that a person can help themselves do. We also talked a little earlier about how having a really good website, in which, Jess and I can help you with that. If you have one, that could indeed increase the amount of clients that you would get, especially if the copy is really well done on it, which we can also do. So yeah, the answer is, like, you could have as many clients as you want, but it's always going to depend upon your capacity, your level of skill when it comes to what you do, and then what are you doing personally in terms of the marketing side to advance the ball and get yourself more leads, more sales, and more clients in the long run.
Exactly. And it really depends on your offer. Of course, the offer is everything, because you can have like an amazing offer and then no ads and get clients, or you can have a horrible offer and run, tens of thousands of dollars on ads and still not get any clients because the offer is just not there. So that's also something we'll help you with. If you need help with designing your offer or restructuring your offer, we can consult on that for you as well to make you to even maximize the amount of clients you're going to get.
Absolutely. The question of, are they refunds? It's funny how this question comes up even in a consulting video. In terms of like questions that people will ask. Our goal is this. Our answer is really the same as it is with the full-time job stuff, right? Full-time job seekers and consultants put themselves in great position by working with us, right? We cannot guarantee, however, if we're going to be ethical and truthful, that any company is going to say, absolutely, we're hiring you, we're going to pay you exactly what you've asked, and happy long ever after story, right? That would be the ideal world. We wish we could play that game of like, okay, we're going to snap our fingers and so is going to just reach out and say you're hired. But that's not how real life works, and we're honest people. We're always going to shoot straight from the hip with you, and we're here to tell you we are going to put you in the best position, but we cannot guarantee those types of things. So refunds, no, we don't do that. In the case that we're doing what we're supposed to do, we put all the effort and work into it, and for whatever reason, like, things haven't moved yet, right? We're going to continue working with you. There is a guarantee that we're going to keep working with you to make sure that we get those consultants. But it takes time, sometimes more time than what our target line is at every once in a while. So the next question that gets asked is, how long will this take? Another one of those depends questions, right? So let's say you have Steve, who's got a really great website. Maybe he's been consulting for a long time. Maybe he's been doing this for 14 years, and he ran out of clients, right? Because most of it was word of mouth. But let's say he's got a really juicy portfolio, right? A lot of really great experiences, verifiable proof that he actually scaled these businesses and helped them to succeed, whether he was a marketer or a sales guy, right? Then he comes to us after making all this money and looking to advance his leads. He says, you know what, I want to make a video, right, about all the success that I've had and talk about my philosophy and, really kind of clip that up and send it out to people. Well, guess what? May not be long before Steve is working with another company, right? Because all you really need is a little bit of a push and a little bit of exposure, right? And people are going to see, like, wow, this guy's legit. I love what he's done. Shot a really creative video talking about how he actually overcame some adversities that we're currently facing. Sign me up, right? But let's say we're dealing with Megan, right? Megan has only been working overall for 3 years, has never consulted before, but has really liked the idea. She has no website, no portfolio. We're going to have to work a little harder with Megan. Megan's going to take a little bit more time. Companies may not be immediately saying, sign me up, until they've gotten to know Megan a little bit more. And we're going to help bring that out, right? Megan is going to get where she wants to go eventually. But Steve has already been here, right? Steve has been and done this. He's sung the song and danced the dance already, right? Megan has not. So will it take long? Depends, right? It depends on your level of experience, how much you listen to the coaching that's provided to you, what kind of services you're leveraging from us. So yeah, these kind of questions always are very nuanced and dependent upon the specific person that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. We
Anything
do
to add
aim
to
for
that, Jess?
60 to 90 days. Yeah, we do aim for 60 to 90 days, but of course it is super dependent. So we can't guarantee the exact time, but our average and our ideal is 60 to 90 days.
Good point. And that's what I meant to say as well, is that we do have a timeline. Trust. We do. Megan, we're not planning on making Megan wait a full calendar year before she sees her first client. That's not ideal, right? And that's not what you're paying us for. So we understand that, we get that, and that's something that we're always going to work really hard to do, is try to get that first client in, first two clients in as fast as we possibly can. Now, is this a subscription-based service? No and yes, right? It's not a subscription-based service in terms of there's initial work that has to be done. We have to identify your target audience. We have to talk with you about like how you're going to position yourself and kind of plant your flag in one specific vertical in an industry, kind of, nail your criteria down. Are you looking for a 200K base? Are you looking to make a certain type of offer? What kind of products and services are you offering? These are the kinds of questions that we have to kind of get figured out first. And then after we figure out all that stuff, there's other things that we have to figure out, right? So there's a whole process that's involved with kind of getting the infrastructure of your service set up, unless you're like Steve and you already have your setup already. But even still, we want to make sure that the marketing gets done properly, that the infrastructure is there to continue to generate leads for the future. And then after you've gathered those first two clients, then it becomes a subscription-based service, because we fulfilled our obligations, our initial obligations of helping you build, helping you market, help you position yourself, get those first two clients. Once you've gotten those first two clients, we then work on a subscription basis where, you'll be paying us XYZ amount, depending on what level of service you want to continue to engage in. And that will be the subscription moving forward. And you can cancel anytime. We're not going to penalize you. We're not going to be like, oh, you're no longer working with us. Okay, that's going to be like, your standard $800 as a cancellation fee. No, we don't do cancellation fees like that, right? So, so yeah, that is really ultimately pretty much every one of the questions that I've received so far about consulting. If you have any further questions for Jess or myself on this topic, I encourage you to reach out to us directly. You can look at our information at jobstreamai.com or search both of us on LinkedIn or email. Most likely, if you're seeing this video, you've already been in touch with one of us. So in all likelihood, you'll just be able to reach out and we can answer any further questions that you have. Anything further to add, Jess?
Yeah, just a last closing statement on basically why this is a no-brainer. So we both bring years and years, decades of expertise in different areas, and our combined expertise will just, get you to where you want to go so much faster. So you can do it alone and save some money, but you might take years to get there and you might waste a whole bunch more money trying to figure out this ad and this process and, oh, what software should I use? Or you can come to us and, use our expertise, our knowledge, learn. Like, I've made so many mistakes in the past. I've spent over $50,000 on things that worked, things that didn't work. And I'm bringing all of that money, all of that time, all of that knowledge to you so we can get you to where you want to go with, a fraction of the cost, a fraction of the pain. And that's why it just makes sense because, yeah, sure, do it on your own if you want to. There's nothing wrong with it, except it might take a lot of time and it might be very expensive in the mistakes you make. Or you can come to us. leverage our expertise, leverage the mistakes that we learned from, and just get to where you want to go so much faster and get that ROI so much faster.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Jess. And, I'll say this, Jess has been doing a lot of this in the marketing space, right? So for your marketers out there who are kind of interested in like, how are you getting contract jobs? How are you going about and arranging those deals? Jess is a great person to learn from in marketing regarding how to do that, right? So it's not like we're just speaking from a place of, novelty, right? We've never done this before. We don't know what we're talking about. No, I've done this in sales, right? So while she's been doing this in marketing, I've been doing this in sales. And there's different contracts that I've taken that are very, very lucrative. There's contracts that I still work on and do today, right? So to this day, her and I are both consulting in our own ways with different companies while coming together to make this amazing company as well. So if there's any people that you would want to learn from and kind of get an understanding of how to go about structuring deals in the market and running a consulting business, both Jess and I have experience doing that and are still doing that. So definitely uh, choose to work with JobStream AI. You will not regret it. We will take care of you and we'll make sure that you get where you want to go. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Me too. That was wonderful. So thanks again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
See you on the other side.